This is a tutorial for how to complete your shoe assignment. So you are gonna start by launching Illustrator, where if you're doing that through the university's virtual computer lab, or if you have a subscription by yourself. And then we are going to create new. We want to use a letterhead just to make it easy for ourselves, and we're going to add 3 artboards. I'm going to type in 3 right here. Everything else you don't have to worry about at this point, because we're just creating these assignments for to practice our pen tool, not to print or publish. And then create. So I have my 3 artboards. And then I'm going to File and Place, and I'm going to find the files that I have downloaded from the assignment page, and we're going to Place. And I have one more, so Place and Place. You guys can see we have this blue line that's going through them. That means that this file is not embedded into the screen. So we need to hit embed. Now it's gone. So now when you save and email this file to me, the image will also go with it. If you don't embed your files, they don't sit inside of them. Illustrator does this to make sure that your files don't end up being too big, but I want you guys to embed your files. When you scale your images, make sure you hold down Shift so you don't lose your proportions. And then embed, and then I am going to open up I'm going to keep these in one layer, and we're going to call this images, and then I will lock it. So now I'm not running the risk of moving these images around. Open a new layer, and we are gonna name this one Red Outline. So I'm gonna start working on the red shoe. We're gonna zoom in. Command or Control plus is your shortcut for that. Or you can go to the hourglass and zoom in that way. If you want to move around on your screen by holding down the space bar, you get your hand tool and you can pan. So here we go. We're going to start using our pen tool, and I'm going to work all the way around the outline of the shoe. So make sure you don't have a fill, but that you do have a stroke, and that it's in a color that you can see. So since it's a red shoe, a black stroke will show very well. Let's start up here. Remember from the last assignment, we click and drag, right? Get our handlebars out. This one is not gonna work, so I'm going back, clicking in there, starting over, getting a different angle. So now I want to complete the straight line here. I'm going to hold on Shift, and that locks my line in. Go here. Create a nice curve. Again, try and keep your strokes as long as possible. It's a little trickier in the beginning to get used to it, but that's the only way you're going to be able to pick up speed, is if you learn to work with the pen tool in broad strokes. Also, as we move on and we start creating flats, you don't want to have a million anchor points in your files, because that's very frustrating when you have to go back to edit, or if someone else other than you are editing your flats. So I think I like that outline. I'm gonna check and see what it looks like by turning off the layer that has the image. So now I can see, yeah, that looks pretty good. So I have my outline. Now I'm going to create the inside of it, this brown part of it. So we're gonna make a new layer, and I'm gonna call this red inside. And to start with, when we start doing this one, the first thing you want to do is to move to your direct select tool or shortcut A. So that means if you hit A on your keyboard, you will move right into this tool. We're now going to copy this line that we have here. I'm going to select this anchor point. That selects this part of the line and this part of the line. I'm holding down Shift so I can select multiples. And do this one. So now I also have this line, and then last, this guy. Then I'm going to copy and paste in front. So copy is Command C or Control C, or you can go up here to Edit and hit Copy. And then Edit again, and then Paste in front, or Command F or Control F, depending on you're working on a Mac or a PC. So now I have pasted this line in front. I'm going to give it a different color so you guys can see it. Show up better. So you guys see here, that's the new line. If I move it, I have the previous line. I'm gonna go back, so Command Z, undo, right? Now this line, it's still, if you guys see, it's still in the wrong layer. But because it's selected, I can now grab this little guy and move him up to the correct layer, and then go ahead and lock my outline layer. And then from here, I'm going to go back in my pen tool, and I'm going to reconnect to this line. So you see the dash that shows up next to my pen tool. That means that I'm right on top of the anchor point, and I'm creating full shape. And then the circle counts, right? So I'm now connected back into this line. And now I have the inside of my shoe as well. I'm going to get rid of this green stroke, and I'm going to give it just a brown fill. So now I have the inside of my shoe, and the outline of my shoe. We are going to move on. We're going to do the sole. So again, I'm going to have to lock here. I'm going to have to copy this line so it will lay right on top of it. So first you need to unlock the layer, go to your white arrow tool, and if you just click on top of the line, all your anchor points will show up and you know what to select. Selecting the first one, holding down Shift to create multiples. There we go, and then Edit, copy, edit, paste in front, moving it up to the sole, locking this layer. And then if you guys see how this one, it goes a little further up than what I would like it to do. If you open up your pen tool, you have here where you can add anchor points. So I'm gonna add one here where I want to start. And I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna delete this first anchor point. So now my line starts right here instead of up here. And then we'll go to pen tool, connect, and draw the inside of it. And then we'll give it a color. Vanish, maybe a bit of a stroke. I'm thinking I want to make the little square at the bottom here the same color. So we're going to lock again, select these two, hold on shift. So now it's copying all the way up to here. So copy, Command C, Command F, paste in front, move it up to your sole layer, lock the first layer. Now again, my first anchor points are up here. It's not what I want them. So we're gonna add 2 new ones down here. And then we can delete the ones up here. And then we'll go back to the pen tool. And go. I'm gonna give it the same brown color. So either you can find the same brown color or you can use this tool called the eyedropper. So as long as this shape is selected and you click on the brown, it copies whatever setting you have for this. So now I have the inside of my shoe, I have the sole, and I'm gonna create these 2 highlights that we got to give the shoe a nice sheen. So we'll do here red highlight. Oops. This layer, sure, if you ever are on your artboard and you see the stop sign, you can't do anything. Doesn't matter what tool you're in. Check what layer you're in and make sure your layer isn't locked or closed. That will do the same thing. So your layer have to be turned on and it can't be locked. If either of those things are there, you're not going to be able to work. So here, I'm just going to trace this outline. Go, and it's going to be white. Same thing here. For these ones, don't have to be super concerned with them being absolutely accurate for the line that you're making. It's okay. Before we can put an effect on these 2, you need to also just color your shoe the correct color. So just piece that red one, turn off the stroke. So starting to take form, right? Now you want to select these 2 highlights. So again, I'm holding down shift to select both of them. We're going to go into effect and blur. And then you're going to select this first blur. And this window pops up. If you hit preview, you can now blur the edges to where they're not so stark. That looks nice. Like that. And then hit OK. So now it looks like they're a little shiny, right? And then I think we also need a shadow here under the heel to show that better. So I'm going to turn off the outline just so I can see where this line actually goes. I'm going to create a shadow up here. Go. And instead of white, we use black for shadows. And then again, we'll turn on your red, select this one. I'm so sorry. And then same thing here. We're going to go into effect and blur, option blur, preview to show it's going to be a little darker. I'm going to show another trick for this too. So we'll leave that one here. And eyeshadow doesn't look too clean, right? But we can change the opacity of it to a little darker. Okay, I think I am happy with that. Block these ones. If you want to see what it looks like, make sure you turn off the image sorry guys, make sure you turn off the image, and you can now see what it looks like without the image. I'm going to zoom out, so Command or Control minus, see it, and then for you now, start with a red shoe, and then as you keep working, just complete the same steps, moving on with these two other shoes. For this shoe, the loafers and the ballerina, you have an option to make them a lot more detailed, so keep practicing, fill in the details that you feel are necessary to create these shoes, and make them look like good illustrations. Remember to turn off the image so you can see what you have created. When you're done, save this as an Illustrator file. The file extension should be, let me show you. You should name this file Adobe Illustrator Shoe Illustration, and then your first name and last name. And then upload it into your assignment folder. And that is it for this assignment. If you have any questions, just reach out to me and I will get back to you. Have a great day.